Hello, beautiful people. How are you guys doing? I am SS the Showstopper. Now, I want to tell you guys about a story of the great Richard Corey. No, I'm just joking with you. That's a poem, by the way, Richard Corey. And you guys can, okay, but it's interesting because the million-dollar question that everyone has been asking since that poem was written eons ago is why did he do it? Anyway, moving on to something else and the topic that's at hand. I've seen the interview by the music exec, the entertainment exec, who's a Caucasian man, a white man, and he has spoke about dancehall music versus Afrobeat, comparing it and the things that he was saying that dancehall music isn't selling as much and it's not good. It like he's saying it's not of good quality in comparison to Afrobeat. And we have also seen where so many persons have chimed in and add their 2 cents to it and has been shunning his remark that he is making because they don't like it. It doesn't sit comfortable with them. One in particular is our reggae artist Shaggy, who has spoke out against what he's saying, that he's bitter and stuff like that. And he's saying that the artist doesn't get the support as those artists, as the Afrobeat artist. And we have seen where in dancehall, artist Vibes Cartel himself has spoken out against his argument just the same and is attacking, he's going after, I don't want to use the word attack, he's pointing the fingers at Jamaicans and our local people and people in the diaspora who rather buy Justin Bieber than buy a dancehall album. And you know, it's the lack of support by the very own people. He will have over 500,000 subscribers. And then, I'm sorry, he has over 500,000 subscribers, 500,000 followers, and 500,000 views on a song. But yet, the song is not being sold. He can't get 100,000 copies sold or 50,000 in the first week. And it's very interesting. It's a very interesting topic and an argument. But here is where I come in. You know my channel, SS Devil Advocate. I think Jamaicans are being very disingenuous. I think the dancehall artists have been, and the reggae artists are being very disingenuous. I think that I think the exec himself is being disingenuous. I think people are trying to deny the obvious. And the obvious is that the history of dancehall and its content were preaching violence to a group of people, in particular people's sexual orientation, such as homosexuals and those type of people. Not only that, it's violent in content and it doesn't sit well with a lot of people. Remember, it's a culture, you know, that has been created around that music. And because there's a culture that has been created around it, people out on the other side when it comes to entertainment simply will not support your music. I'm getting to the Jamaicans in a moment. People outside simply will not support your music. Yeah, if you come to their concert or if they will book you, for example, a reggae artist, and there are 1 and 2 people in various countries all over the world that will support the music. But guess what? A lot of those persons are deemed as rebels. For example, in Japan, a lot of people will support reggae and dancehall music, but they call them rebels. They call them people who are rebellious. You understand me? They don't really, I wouldn't say they don't cater for them because that's a super first world country. You understand? But they are looked at a certain way. Yes, for want of euphemism. They are looked at a certain way for those persons who support dancehall music. In Europe, for example, people who support dancehall music is the same, but they don't look at them. They don't necessarily look at them or label them like that. They just see them as people who are doing their own thing or people who aren't conformist or anything like that. So they just do their own thing, and that's the case. But when it comes to pop music, for example, Justin Bieber, his music is approachable. His music is something that you want to listen because it's about love, it's about parties, it's about having fun, it's about having a good time. While dancehall music attack not only people's sexual orientation, it attack people's socio-economic background. And it's very ironic that most of the persons who come from dancehall or who are doing dancehall are people who are poor, are people from at-risk community, or what they would call the ghetto. I don't like the word because it's not English and it has nothing to do with black people across the globe. But anyways, they're from poor socioeconomic background or at-risk community, and the song and the content of it is insulting people who are not rich or who aren't making money as what they are professing to be making or doing via their music videos and also their music. So that's one thing. The bashing of people's sexual orientation also is number two. The flamboyant lifestyle and stuff like that can possibly not sit well with a lot of people. That's also three. And the vulgar, overly sexual content, number four, is what simply do not sit well with people. For example, I don't know why they continue to compare it, but I guess because it's major black. Why not compare hip hop to Afrobeat? Why keep on attacking dancehall? I guess because it sounds closer to dancehall, that is. But let's say all things are equal and we're going to compare Afrobeat with dancehall. Okay, the content of Afrobeat music is to party, to have a good time. It has a story behind it also. They attack topics. I'm not what's with me and the word attack. They go after topics that are at hand. Some of them are conscious, some of them about love, some of them about relationship and stuff like that. When you look at their music video also, you don't see overly sexual images, graphic and gross sexual content. You don't see a lot of guns and all these kind of things in the music video like they're professing violence. So people will find it more approachable. And remember, Africans in general don't necessarily buy music. But the difference is that Africa is an entire continent. And one country in Africa, Jamaica, can sink in it over 1 million times. Look at the size of Kenya, the size of Nigeria. Look at the size of these countries. They are very, very big. And I'm not using hyperbole. They are very, very massive. You understand? So someone will buy the music. You understand? Someone will buy it. So that's the difference with them and with dancehall. It's an island of Jamaica is an island of merely 3 million people. And if we should incorporate a few Caribbean islands, excluding Dominican, excluding Haiti, excluding Puerto Rico, and where else? Puerto Rico and Cuba. The total comparison would probably be 10 million or something like that, or even 7 million, because some islands are very small. Jamaica is a greater Antilles and it has 3 million. So imagine an island that's a lesser Antilles. And when you're going to add up all of that now and see, for the most part, who are going to buy the music, a very few small amount of people would buy. Yes, they can still support it. There's no excuse, because you want to buy your expensive name brand. You are going to spend the money to buy it. So you can simply, are you ordering on Shein and all these kind of places? You can order your music. I heard TJ himself come and spoke about it while promoting his album, explaining to youths in certain communities as to how they can go about purchasing music, and it's not hard. So with that being said, we are looking at country sizes continent compared to a small dot on the map, you understand, which is the island of Jamaica. So there you have it. Our local people can support each other. There's nothing wrong with supporting the music, but like I said, as I name out the 4 things that are a hindrance to a lot of people, they won't find the music very approaching. Yeah, they will listen to it because they don't have a choice. You're on an island and everywhere you go, you're going to hear the same dancehall music. That's why certain people don't go to certain places, because they simply don't want to hear it. And it's very difficult for you to go to a wayside bar, for example, and tell the bartender that you don't want to hear it when there are 5 different guys in the bar who want to hear that kind of songs. So when it's about violence, when it's about professing their hate for homosexuality, homosexuals and killing them, or whatever the case may be, when it's overtly sexual and all these kind of things, and the flamboyancy and shunning people who are poor or people who simply don't have it, then people are not going to find the music welcoming. Okay? And I think I'm one of them who actually have denied the obvious over the years. But that's the harsh reality, and a lot of people don't want to admit it. Maybe because it doesn't bring comfort or brings a sense of guilt, but it is what it is. If you are still going to hold on to it and not sing other things that you can sing, because these guys, one thing I will never take from any of them is that they are talented. I won't take their talent from them. They are very talented. So the way they can sing these kind of songs with all the same topic that I just mentioned at hand, then they can sing conscious music, or they can record or DJ conscious music just the same. It's really not difficult to do. It's only a matter of choice. People are going to say people can only sing about where they grew up out. You didn't grow up with all that money. You didn't grow up with all that luxury. A lot of you didn't see gun. You understand me? Not because you're from an at-risk community. It doesn't mean that everybody was exposed to gun and weaponry. You understand? But then you choose to sing about it because it gives you an immediate hype. Sometimes people want to run up the ladder rather than climb it. And, you know, it gets saturated after a while, because everybody, imagine 10 people running up the ladder. instead of climbing one by one. You understand what I'm saying? After a while, it's oversaturated and the market is like that. So basically, I think that's what the exec wanted to say, but he was scared to say it because people might label him as being gay himself or something like that. You understand me? But I think that's the elephant in the room that everybody is denying. Everybody don't want to acknowledge, and people don't want to look into. If the content of the music simply change or twitch a little bit, people will accept it. And you can't say that people aren't going to listen to it, because if so many of them turn around and decide to do it, people will listen, because it's what you choose to put out there that people are paying attention to. People aren't paying attention to what you didn't put out there. People are paying attention to what you choose to put out there. And so many persons are putting out the same thing. And because you're putting out the same thing, then it becomes like a marquee in the mind where people are absorbing it like sponge. You understand? And because of such, they don't have a choice than to be singing the same song and going about and living their life according to the content that's out there. So that's the obvious, which I think a lot of persons are denying. But the truth and in fact that, people are going to compare Afrobeat to reggae because it's similar in content. I'm sorry, not content. It's similar in nature when it comes to the instrumentals, the cadence, all these kind of things coming into play. And so there you have it. You understand? It's like we don't want to admit it, but we have to admit it. We don't want to say it, but we have to say it because it is simply true. It is simply true. What you're putting out there, a lot of people don't really cater for it and they don't like the content of it. You have Jamaicans who don't like dancehall music too. You have Jamaicans who don't like dancehall music, and that's the reason it won't sell. You understand? But they go into the United States, Jamaican people will support Justin Bieber, so because maybe his content is more welcoming and it's more satisfying and it gives them a peace. You don't want to get up and listen to Dung in a Throat, F.O. Throat, back and throat, you come through nose hole. And those things sound sadistic. It seems like masochism. You understand me? And it doesn't sit well with people. People are just not going to accept it. It's scary. I'm a female, and sometimes I'm scared. I don't want a guy to look at me for too long because I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know if when he sees me, he's seeing the things that are being said in a music video and he thinks that he's going to approach me accordingly. You understand me? So it's kind of scary. You have to admit it. The female degradation is a bit too much. Not a bit too much. It is too much. The gun violence, all these garrison songs, people just not catering for it. Yes, it's going to stream. People going to listen. People going to buy. Yeah, people going to buy. But not in the record number that you are hoping. You understand me? But sometimes I guess when an artist is doing his shows and he's getting bookings, that's all he needs. And a lot of them, chop line as they say and all these kind of things. You're promoting illegal activity too. So that's 5, not 4. The illegal activity and promotion of it. That's another thing that turned off people, and you have to admit it. I was an artist. I did dancehall music just the same. So I'm a part of it. I'm not going to take myself out of it. But I think we are denying the obvious, and I think that is the obvious that I just presented to you guys. I'm going to start, when I do my videos, I'm going to start recommending a book that you guys can read. And for those who are busy or those who don't like to read or have time, I'm going to introduce you guys to a way where you can read and not be bothered. There is something called audiobook. You understand me? And my brother is a writer. I have a brother who is a writer. He's very young. He started writing at a very early age. He loves to write. And I started out doing poetry. I was a poet before I leave, and I decided to do music. I always used to do poems. And so my brother came and he adopted it and he took it even further. He was always writing stories. He's on Wattpad, you understand, and stuff like that. He wrote a poem, and I cried because it's a poem about my uncle and who passed away. And I don't even want to talk about it because I'm going to cry. And he got an award for it. He got an award from the UK for it. And so my brother is pretty young. He's a pretty young guy, but he has roots. These people are like Point Dexter. You understand what I'm saying? He's like that. I barely scream through. I barely scrape through. You understand me? But he's like a Point Dexter. But I'm going to recommend books that you guys can read. And like I said, there are audiobooks, so you can listen while cleaning, while doing your thing, while at work. You can listen, and you can listen a chapter per day or a chapter per hour, and you go back, and they are very interesting books that you can read. It helps you. It helps you. There's also something that I want to recommend to guys, especially guys as in male and female, who are going through, a little depression, and a little sap, you need a little word of encouragement. There's someone, but I am scared. I don't want to, because the person, she recommends the simplest of things. She recommends the simplest of things. However, it may be one of the most difficult things to do, but it's very simple that she recommends. But your entire mentality change when it comes to outlook on life and outlook on situations that you consider a problem. Hence my reason for keep saying that sometimes the glass isn't half empty, sometimes it's half full. It's how we look at it. Our perception about a lot of things make it a problem. Oftentimes it's not a problem, just a situation that we don't know how to deal with, or just a situation that we went about the wrong way. You understand me? But that's all I have to say for now. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy your day, and may God bless you. Bye-bye.